Welcome to the Local Lick Show. Johnny Dollar here, broadcasting live from the Rhythm City Casino Studios here in downtown Erie, Illinois. And the Local Lick Show brought to you by Heartland Connections, the #1 music destination in the Midwest. Thank you, Heartland Connections. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. And thanks to our listeners around the world tuning in to listen to some great local music here in the Quad City area and region. And today, we have a special guest in studio with us today, continuing the parade of guests. And it's so nice to have people in here instead of just talking to myself like I normally do. I want to introduce to you Matt Eckberg. Matt, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me in.
Yeah, it's so great to have you in. Man, I tell you what, you've got a great songbook, but for those not familiar with you, introduce yourself to us.
Sure. Well, I'm Matt Eckberg, like you said, born and raised in Walnut, Illinois, not too far from here. Actually, though, my parents now live in Erie, right around the corner.
Okay.
So I was just at their house. I could walk here.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm basically local, even though I live in East Peoria now. And been playing music in the East Peoria area for a lot longer than I care to admit. I was thinking about it the other day. I started my first band there in 1997.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I'm old, but that's okay.
Oh, you said it, not me.
Yeah, but, you know, it's music. Music's a blast.
Yeah.
And so played cover bands for years and years and years, and just started writing music of my own a few years ago, really, for the first time.
Really?
And so I'm having a ball with that now, recording and putting out some things here and there, and getting a chance to share like I am today. So this is, I appreciate you having me in to do this.
Well, we're glad to have you here. And you've been playing cover bands for a while, like you said, but what pushed you into doing your own music?
I think I had all these little parts, these little things that I would always mess around with when I was in my office at home, just playing, and maybe I wasn't practicing a song in particular. And one day, some lyrics just kind of came to my head, and a song happened, and when I played one, I wanted to write more. And it really just kind of went from there, and I had a few songs built up, had a chance to record a live album. Didn't have enough songs for that. So the scared part, I took the leap and said, I'm going to be ready to do this, and wrote a bunch more songs. And from there, it's just been the new passion, I think, for me, is just trying to write songs, record them mostly in my office now. And thankfully technology allows for that, and share them when I can. I still do a lot of the cover stuff. Most of the gigs I do down in Peoria are 90% cover songs. We have a good time with music from the 80s and 90s, wherever. But it's awesome to have my own stuff and my own way to express some things too.
Great, yeah. And 80s and 90s, that's some good decades of music right there.
Oh, it's such fun music.
All right, well, we'll delve into that in a little bit, but let's hear one of your songs. What do you got for us first?
Sure. This is a goofy little song. This is my take on an anti-love song, I guess. I was driving in my car one day, and I heard a song on the radio called I'm Yours. And I'm like, so many songs are I'm Yours. I'm going to write one called I'm Yours with a twist.
Oh, all right.
So this is a song called I Am Yours. This will be, my band is releasing this song in just a few weeks. This will be the next one that comes out. But, so yeah, this is called I Am Yours.
When we met, life was turning around so
probably should. Good and bad, bad goes. Say goodbye, you know you probably should. Good and bad, bad goes. Say goodbye, you know you probably should. Good and bad, bad to worse. Say goodbye, 'cause baby I am yours. Cause of so many sleepless nights, you're still here but you know it isn't right. Everybody is somebody they wish they'd never met. Everybody is somebody they know they should have quit. Everybody is somebody they never should endure. Everybody is somebody and maybe, yeah baby, I am yours.
Matt Eckberg live in studio here on the Local Lick Show. Matt, that is a great song. That's fun.
Thanks.
That is fun right there. Now, you said you were playing cover bands starting in 97, or that's when you started getting into music. Now, were you born into a music family, or did you find that on your own?
No, absolutely. My dad's a musician. He's a songwriter, a guitar player, singer. From his high school days, still writes and records music right around the corner here. And so that's where it started for me. He was a huge Beatles fan. So growing up, there was always music playing in the house. I, for the longest time in my bedroom at home, had a 1967 Gibson Les Paul.
Oh, wow.
Didn't know how to play it, but I wanted it in my room. And thankfully, he was kind enough to let me keep it in there. So there's been music in my life from day one. So he plays. I have two younger brothers that also play. One is a phenomenal bass guitar player, lives up in the Chicago area. And my other brother, Jonathan Eckberg, also lives here in Erie. Phenomenal singer-songwriter. He releases music under the name Oak Mountain. And so if you're out searching the streaming services, you can find his stuff as Oak Mountain. And we've done a lot of stuff together over the years. In fact, I played in a band with my dad for a while called the Ron Eckberg Band. We were a trio with another drummer doing all the 60s, the Beatles stuff and the 60s and 70s music. And I played bass with him. And so, yeah, it's been music for a long, long time. I didn't actually learn to play guitar till I went away to college.
No.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
I was busy in high school with sports and things like that and just never spent the time on it. And once it hooked me, once I learned those first few chords and got hooked, it's been ever since.
Now, everybody learns differently. How long did it take you to finally get to being well enough to put things together on a guitar?
I remember I started learning. I had a piano book for the first 4 Rush albums, because Rush was my first concert, 1988, freshman in high school. And my friend had a songbook of their first 4 albums transcribed on piano. But they had the little guitar chord charts above the line. So I learned playing the very basic chords to a couple of songs, and it took me all summer, and just one day it clicked that I could all of a sudden go from one chord to the other without having to stop and look at my fingers and think about what I was doing. And so I know that I asked for an acoustic guitar not long after that. I was on a college cross-country team, and so we'd take the guitar on cross-country trips and sit in the hallway of the hotels the night before races. And I had a buddy who played harmonica on the team. And so, it was all really pretty quick once I started learning how to play.
So
a few months to learn basic songs.
Sure.
Basically.
And when you finally got it, how did that make you feel? Because I have a guitar at home. I don't play very well or often, but I can only imagine being able to play just must feel great, liberating.
It's funny. It was that light bulb moment.
Yeah.
The first time, like I said, that all of a sudden I was going from one chord to the other without thinking about it. And I was able to play, you learn 3 chords and you can play all sorts of songs. And so I was able to figure out that these same 3 chords are in Brown Eyed Girl and it's Sweet Home Alabama, and it's all these same songs. And all of a sudden you can play these and people are singing. And that to me was the hook, was to have interaction with people based on what I was doing on a guitar. And it's still to this day is why I go out and play gigs. It's to be in front of people. It's to get that feedback when you're singing a song and you see them bopping their head along or singing back with you and things like that. That's the addiction to me. And that's why I love to go out and play gigs.
So what was it like the very first time being up on stage playing in front of people? Do you remember where you were at?
Yeah, because my dad was a singer, like I said, for years, and did a lot of gospel music and traveled playing at churches and things from when I was really young. So I know I've been on stage singing with him since I was 3 or 4 years old. The first time I played in front of people with a guitar that I really remember was my first college band. And we got an opening slot at the big music venue in Macomb, the Change of Pace, in Macomb, Illinois, opening for what was the big band at our school at the time. And the place was packed. And I don't know what packed is there. It felt like thousands of people. It was probably 200. But we stepped up, and I'm sure we were awful. It was all of 5 guys in a band, first time any of us had ever played. I'm sure we were horrible, but it was awesome. You know, it was just such a great feeling to be up there with a sound system and, you know, feel like a rock star. Right, exactly.
Well, I'm sure people appreciated it too because, you know, live music anytime, anywhere. And whenever we have people come in and they always talk about their first time, the most important thing I think is that, especially if you're in the audience, if you see the people having fun on stage, that usually translates into the audience having fun down there. And, you know, I'm sure you guys had fun doing that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it was all our college friends that came out and
just have a good time.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Absolutely.
We'll get to the good, you know, we'll get to the professional part later on once you get to, once you get some more practice in. But yeah, having a good time, I think, is probably one of the ingredients in being in a band.
Absolutely. It's the main ingredient. Yeah. I mean, obviously talent and all those things, practice, all plays into it so that you can perform well. But you do it because it's fun. You do it because it's something you love.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun with it. And I think we got time for one more song before our first break. So what do you got for us next?
All right. This is a song that I wrote last summer and released it. It's out on Spotify, iTunes, all those things if you search for Matt Eckberg. And I know you've played it here on this show, which I really appreciate. This is a song called My Hometown. I wrote it for my hometown of Walnut, Illinois. This is kind of one of those nostalgic, looking back on growing up in a small town songs. A little bit of a story behind it. In 1972, Walnut celebrated its 100th birthday. And at that time, my dad wrote and recorded a couple of songs that were used as the soundtrack for the celebration of Walnut's centennial birthday. And people still have the little 45 records.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yeah. So anyway, last year I was contacted by some people in Walnut who said, hey, you know, your dad did these things in 72. The 150th is coming up in 2022. Would you be interested in trying to put something together for that? I said, sure, because you never know how long a song will take. And it was so fast that we decided to go ahead and record it, release it. I actually played it for the first time at a show I did in Walnut last summer. And so it's really personal, and it's, you know, I love this song, and I love the way the recording turned out. Recorded a lot of it in my basement at home, and then my brother here in Erie did some of the instrumentation on it and did all the mixing and mastering for me. And so really love how this song turned out. So this is my tribute to growing up in small town Walnut, Illinois. This is a song called My Hometown. I can see it on the hill straight up ahead. That quiet little town where I grew up with my friends. Where my family stayed generations strong. Yeah, those carefree days lasted all summer long. It feels like home now, just like It's at Old Main Street. It's the people that you meet. It's the 4th of July with the fireworks in the sky. It's the feeling I get when I see the silhouette of the tower on the edge of town. It's my hometown. Summer nights been driving without end, from the flagpole to the park and back again and again, with the stereo cranked and the windows down, playing those songs for anyone who's around. It's the most amazing feeling there's ever been. Take me back to the place I love. Take me back to where I'm from. It's at Old Main Street. It's the people that you meet. It's the 4th of July with the fireworks in the sky. It's the feeling I get when I see the silhouette of the tower on the edge of town. It's my hometown. The feel of the sun in the creek as we paddle down. It's my hometown. The run through the corn as the cops chased us around. It's my hometown. The roar of the crowd for the last second touchdown. It's my hometown. The life I will always remember in my town. Years have passed and have long since moved away, but that town is where a part of me will always stay. It's at Old Main Street. It's the people that you meet. It's the 4th of July with the fireworks in the sky. It's the feeling I get when I see the silhouette of the tower on the edge of town. Yeah, it's at Old Main Street. It's the people that you meet. It's the 4th of July with the fireworks in the sky. It's the feeling I get when I see the silhouette of the tower on the edge of town. It's my hometown. My hometown. It's my hometown. It's my hometown.
Matt Eckberg with My Hometown. We'll have more with Matt coming up right after this commercial break. You're listening to The Local Lick Show right here on Vintage Radio 107.7 WQUD. Johnny Dollar here, broadcasting live from the Rhythm City Casino Studios here in downtown Erie, Illinois. This is The Local Lick Show, your home for local and regional music in the Quad City area, featuring artists mainly from Iowa and Illinois. And today we have from Walnut, Illinois, originally from Walnut, Illinois, Matt Eckberg. Matt, how's it going?
Great.
Good.
Yes, originally from Walnut.
Yeah. Now, going back to your first album that you did, when was that?
You would ask me that 2 years ago.
Okay.
Was when we put that out. I recorded it live. There's a studio in Dunlap, Illinois, Rock Solid Studios, and they put something out on Facebook that they were going to start doing what they called, I forget what they call them now, coffee house sessions or something like that, where you could go in and record live with an audience. And so they had it set up. It looked a lot like an MTV Unplugged back in the day.
Cool.
You know, cool lighting.
Sweet.
And couple chairs up front, the audience sitting around. And
Yeah.
so I kind of, like I said, I took the leap to sign up to do one of those. I had about 40 friends that came in and you know, recorded this album one take straight through. Had my brother sit in on a couple of songs, and then we mixed it, put it out, you know, a couple months later. So it's been out for a couple of years. It's out on iTunes, Spotify, all the streaming services there. But that one, that full-length album, is recorded live.
Well, you must have been thrilled to be, you know, thinking to yourself, hey, I'm recording this live album.
Yeah. Number one, the big thrills were to create the music and to have enough music. I'm not a prolific songwriter by any means. I'm not one of those guys that writes a song every day. But to have enough music to do something like that. And then when we finished mixing it and I got it and I'm like, wow, this actually sounds like a real album. And then had some copies printed up, and you get that first copy that you hold in your hand, and it's a little bit like the scene in That Thing You Do where they see their Playtone record for the first time. That's how I felt. And then when it popped up on Spotify the first time, and I could see my name on Spotify next to all these, you know, the people that I listen to, and all the great artists of all time are out there, and here's my little record, you know, next to them. Kind of a cool feeling. You know, that's
Kind of. No, that is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, for a small town kid from Illinois who's playing cover songs in bars, that's a pretty cool feeling. So.
And you were talking about you're on the list with people you grew up listening. Who did you grow up listening to?
Well, like I said, there was a lot of Beatles in my house growing up. My first real concert ever, was Rush at the Peoria Civic Center in 1988. Rush is my favorite band of all time. You know, progressive metal stuff. I don't do anything like that myself, but you know, I listened to everything from the cheesy pop of the 80s to the hair bands like Josephus was just playing. I love the singer-songwriter stuff now, the Ed Sheerans, the, you know, things like that. A soft spot for the good 80s and 90s stuff that was big when I was in school. So a lot of those 90s bands like Live and Matchbox 20 and, you know, REM or, you know, all those, even the Green Days and the Blink-182s that were kind of easy things to learn to play when you're first learning guitar. Yeah. So, you know, I listen to all sorts of stuff. Even a little bit of country now, which is a new development for me over the last few years.
So you just started recently listening to country music?
Yeah.
Oh, so modern country music or 80s, 90s or
Yeah, I'm a modern country guy. I still have not gotten to the old school country stuff. Just never.
Okay, yeah, just wondering, you know.
Never was my thing, and I haven't gone that far into the country stuff yet.
Yeah, and you know, the older we get, the more music we're exposed to, and also too, another good point is, you know, we grow up listening to whatever we grew up listening to, and then later on in life, something that hooks you back into listening to music of those decades. But then you also listen to the other stuff you never listened to, and sometimes you'll say to yourself, "Oh, how did I miss that?" Or "Why did I miss that?"
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, all the time you go down the rabbit hole of.
Yeah.
YouTube's great for that. Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you find a video that pops up on your Facebook feed, takes you to YouTube, and now all of a sudden there's the suggested videos. I've never seen that, or I've never heard of this band, but wow, this is good stuff.
And not only that too, but even the deep cuts from the bands you do listen to, sometimes you'll miss stuff that how did I miss that? I love these guys. What happened?
Yeah, exactly. Or seeing how good they could be live.
Yeah.
Or maybe how good they aren't live in some cases.
Yeah.
But, you know, the really good bands and the good songwriters are able to translate that to their live performances. And that's what I love to see, is to see a band that can step on a stage or even on a TV screen or wherever, a small stage, and make their music sound really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Or strip it down to acoustic guitar.
Yep. Yeah.
You realize that's a good song.
Yeah, exactly. If you can translate from doing electric to acoustic, that's a good song.
Absolutely.
Good songwriting. Yeah. Great structure. All right, you got another song for us?
Yeah. I talked about not having enough music to record my CD the first time when I signed up for it, and this was the last song that I wrote before I recorded, and it ended up being one of my favorites. I'd had the guitar bit for years and years and just never thought I could sing to it. And something clicked. This is a song about being shy, basically. So this is my life in general. It's called Thinking About. Saw you there, blocked out my world completely. Try not to stare. I look away, but I know that you see. You catch my eye. My body shakes, I can't breathe. I've been thinking about saying hello. Walking up to you. I've been thinking about saying hello. Seeing where it goes. See the lines over and over in my head for a week. Force the smile. Trying to find the nerve just to speak. I catch your eye. My body shakes, I can't breathe. I've been thinking about saying hello. Walking up to you. I've been thinking about saying hello. Seeing where it goes. The day arrives, no turning back. It's now or never, I tell myself. I open my mouth and she smiles. I've been thinking about saying hello. Walking up to you. I've been thinking about saying hello. Seeing where it goes. I've been thinking about walking up to you. I've been thinking about saying hello. Seeing where it goes.
Matt Eckberg live in studio here on the Local Lick Show, brought to you by Heartland Connections, the #1 music destination in the heart of the Midwest. Now, Matt, you said you got a little recording studio at home.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, studios anymore, I'm recording on a Mac laptop.
Yeah.
You know, I've got the interface, got a couple good microphones. My drummer invested in some really good electronic drums so that we get good drum sounds when we do the band recordings. And that's all it takes, you know, anymore. It just takes a lot of time to learn how to make things sound the way you want them to sound. But it's been amazing to be able to do full recordings in my basement and have them come out sounding a way that I'm proud of.
Right, yeah, and technology has really moved forward leaps and bounds. I know we have artists that have been playing for a while, and you know, it took all sorts of equipment to put a song together, and you can do that now with, you know, just a few simple tools.
Absolutely. And, we, the band, or when I'm working with my brother, we can email tracks back and forth now and dump them into our own computers and record our parts and send them back and forth. With everything that was going on over the last year,
Yeah.
that was really nice. And that, the guys in my band and I could work together without actually being in the same room at times.
So getting to that, how has the pandemic affected you as an artist? Now, are you a full-time artist, or do you have a day job and you play in the evenings, weekends?
Oh no, I've got a day job. I've got a full-time job. I've got family and bills to pay and all those things. So I was fortunate in that music is a hobby for me. So I was able to play a lot of shows last summer. I was as busy last summer and fall as I've ever been. Everybody had set up outdoor areas. And so we did a lot of outdoor shows down in the Peoria area, and I've got a bunch of them, starting again here over the next few weeks as things are opening up again for us. So I played a lot, but then in mid-October, it stopped. I played a show, I think the very middle of October, had a Halloween show canceled because it was a private party and somebody tested positive. Thankfully, they were fine. But I think I've played 2 shows since then. Since October. So that's where the recording thing came in, was we took all of our focus away from playing shows and put it into writing and recording. And so we're starting to now kind of release what we've worked on all winter.
Okay, that's cool. Well, you've also mentioned a few times during the show, there's also the Matt Eckberg Band. Tell me about that.
Correct. I've been, like I said, I've been playing in bands in Peoria for almost 25 years now. The last dozen years or so with the same couple of guys. And for a long time, we've called ourselves Pocket Mouse because it started off as just an acoustic breakout of a full electric band that we had, and we just needed a goofy name for the Thursday night acoustic things we did. That became our full-time band several years ago. So we're a 3-piece band. It's me on acoustic guitar. I've got a bass player that I've played with for 15 years now, and a drummer that I've played with since the very beginning. And we go out and we do all sorts of gigs, and our set list is all of the fun 80s, 90s, a little bit of 70s, sing-along, recognizable pop and rock songs, stripped down to the very basics. And we'll go from playing the Beatles to the Eagles to Michael Jackson to name a night, Bare Naked Ladies or whoever out of the 90s, and we just have a ball. Just have a ball with that. And so we decided when we were getting ready to start recording music that we didn't like the band name as something we were going to put our own stuff out at. And since we are awful at creating band names, we went with the simple route and just called it the Matt Eckberg Band.
Sure. Hey, that works.
Yeah, it's easy to remember.
Awesome. Great. Well, you got another song for us before our next break?
You bet. I will do, this is going to be another one that we've recorded with the full band. I did release a demo version of this last year. It's out there, just me and an acoustic guitar, but there's a full band version coming soon. This is a song called I Can't Be. I've got these thoughts in my head and they're spinning me out of control. There's a piece of mine that I gotta find out how to hold. But you don't understand that it's out of my hands, don't you know? I've got these thoughts in my head these thoughts in my head, what they're saying, I really don't know. But I keep plowing ahead and I make sure confusion don't show. Oh no. But you don't understand. I can't be what you want me to be, what you want me to be, yeah. Can't you see, can't you see, can't you see? It's not up to me, it's not up to me, yeah. I can't be what you want me to be, what you want me to be, yeah. Can't you see, can't you see, can't you see? It's not up to me, it's not up to me, yeah.
Matt Eckberg live in studio here on the Heartland Connections, on the Local Lick Show, brought to you by Heartland Connections. Going to take our next break, so be right back right after this. And we're back to the Local Lick Show. Johnny Dollar here, broadcasting from the Rhythm City Casino Studios here in downtown Erie, Illinois. Serving the Quad Cities and worldwide online, WQUD-FM.com. Just click the Listen Now button and you can take us wherever you go. Joining me in studio today is Matt Eckberg. We've been listening to some great music from Matt here, and he's got a couple more left to go. Now, before we get to it, though, I do want to ask you about your guitar. Now, we have a lot of gearheads that listen, and, people will ask, hey, especially since we're on live right now, Facebook Live,
Right.
we're watching you, too. What do you got there?
This is my baby. This is a Taylor 214. I bought this a little over a year ago now. This was my major purchase. It was time, I think, to have one of the big name guitars. And I sat and I played so many guitars at different guitar shops, and this one just grabbed me the moment I picked it up. It's just got that tone, which is exactly what I always wanted in my head. It sounds great plugged in. It sounds great just live like this. I've got a couple other guitars that I love. I've got a Paul Reed Smith acoustic that is just amazing to play. Feels like playing an electric guitar. Got a great Washburn. But this Taylor just it's got my sound, I guess, is the easiest way to put it.
Well, yeah, you have to find something that has your sound, because that's what separates you from everybody else.
Yeah, and everybody has something different in their head that they want to hear.
Yeah.
I like a guitar that's got some high end that cuts through a little bit, that other people like something that's a little more even toned or darker toned or whatever. And this one just, it's just got what I want when I strum it, when I pick it up, and at any time.
Awesome.
And it plays great when I go out for gigs too. It's fun to play all night.
That's the workhorse thing.
When you're going to play 3 or 4 hours, the guitar's got to feel good on your fingers too.
Definitely. Well, let's hear that guitar and a song from you.
All right, this was the title track off the CD I released a couple of years ago, and I played as much because I want to say title track, and that sounds cool. But this is a little quieter song. This is called On Down the Road. This is all so strange to me. I can't picture a world where you're not with me, and I know you see through me, through the lies and the stories and on to what's real. Somewhere on down the road, somewhere where only God knows, somewhere music fades, a quick glance back behind me. See the tears in your eyes as you turn away, hiding the pain somewhere on down the road, somewhere where only God knows, somewhere on down the road. Where you are, that is where I'll go. I can't look back and know that I was probably wrong. I can't go somewhere on down the road, somewhere where only God knows, somewhere on down the road. Where you are, that is where I'll go, somewhere on down the road, somewhere where only God knows, somewhere on down the road. Where you are, that is where I'll go, to the place we'll call home.
Matt Eckberg right here in studio on the Local Lick Show. Now, Matt, you got anything live coming up planned?
The first thing I have coming up is St. Patrick's Day, Wednesday the 17th, I think is the date.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah. So my band is going to be playing at a place called 12 Bar in Peoria Heights, Illinois. They've got a great rooftop outdoor bar area.
Oh, that sounds like
so
fun.
they're doing a party all day long, St. Patrick's Day, and we're playing from 3 in the afternoon till 6 at night out there. So I've got that, and then the rest of the schedule picks up in April. So if people want to give me a follow, Matt Eckberg Live is the Facebook page. There's also a page for the band called the Matt Eckberg Band. That's on Facebook. And all the events will be posted on both pages at all the time. So, and then hopefully someday soon we'll be back up in Walnut or up here in the Quad City area. I'd love to start branching out up this way a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Love to see you here in the Quad City area, my hometown. Now, we got one more song. Now, this one is brand new, just released a few days ago, and we're going to play it on the air here. This will be its first time on radio. Tell me about this new one you got.
Okay, so this is the first release from the Matt Eckberg Band. We have 5 or 6 songs recorded and ready to go. We're going to release them one at a time. And this was such a fun song to write and record. It's also so new that I don't know how to do it on acoustic guitar yet. This was the only song in this project that was written completely electric and to be a full band song more than anything. It's called Molly from Milwaukee. The name was just something that fit the music, and we wanted something kind of alliterative and fun, and so it's a party song. It's a good time song. There's no real heaviness to it at all, but the music is fun, and I love the way this song turned out. So I was so excited to get it out there. It's out Spotify, iTunes, Yahoo Music, wherever, under the Matt Eckberg Band, and the song's called Molly from Milwaukee.
All right, let's give it a listen.
Molly from Milwaukee puts her black dress on, gonna find a new lover that will take her home. Not looking for forever, doesn't want a ring, just wants to feel the feeling only passion can bring. Molly from Milwaukee wants to make her name, gonna take from Milwaukee.
Molly from Milwaukee, the new release from the Matt Eckberg Band. Matt, what a fun song. That really is awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add before we go?
No, like I said, give me a follow on Facebook at Matt Eckberg Live or the Matt Eckberg Band, either way. And I'll be posting all of our events, the new releases as they come out. We're going to have a song coming out every few weeks here for a while. And so anything that develops will be out there.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it was great having you. Love your music, and hopefully we can have you in here soon.
Love to do that.
Awesome. All right, well, there you go. Matt Eckberg live here on the Local Lick Show, brought to you by Heartland Connections. All right, top of the hour time to take